You good, JR?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can't
Just
see
can't see
me.
your video.
That sucks. All right. Hey, welcome in everybody. We are here for the Big Ten Huddle. We have special guest Brooks Barnhizer with us today. He is going to be spending about 20 minutes with us recapping the Big Ten season. So instead of doing this big, huge intro, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. Kent, I'm going to turn it over to you while I figure out my stuff. Go ahead and start with it, Kent.
Awesome, man. Hey, Brooks, thanks, first of all, for coming on, man. This is an exciting day to be able to talk to you. I wanted to lead off with a little bit of a softball question, though. Literally, a softball question. Throughout the first pitch yesterday at the softball game, I'm wondering, my question is, though, did they ask you to throw it underhand, or are you supposed to throw it overhand when you're pitching out the first pitch at a softball game? Can you throw it underhand?
No, I definitely couldn't. But they asked me which one I was gonna do, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was really nervous because like our softball team is really good, so they get really good crowds. So just walking out there, I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna lob this and try not to embarrass myself. So I told them beforehand I was gonna pitch it overhand, and they were okay with it. But I'm not gonna lie, I was really nervous.
That's awesome, man. I was wondering about that. I didn't see across the plate on the highlight, though. Was it a strike?
Yeah, it was a strike for sure.
Oh, bet. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
strike for sure.
I wouldn't expect anything else. Brooks, man, great season for Northwestern this year. Back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. You took down Dusty May. Welcomed him to Big Ten, I'm sure, with showing him what's up there. Appreciate you doing that. I'm a Buckeye fan, so I need him to know what the Big Ten's about when he's coming in there. But, I mean, just tell us, man, the past two seasons, going to the NCAA tournament, I mean, this is some of the best basketball Northwestern has seen. I mean, I don't know how long, but I mean, what's it been like on campus playing for the team? You giving a lot of love from the students. Just what's it like? What you experiencing, man?
Yeah, I think it's been special because kind of like you said, before coming here, we've only been to the tournament once. So just to get back, there back-to-back seasons has kind of meant everything to our program. And yeah, like you said, there's a lot of love going around, and it's kind of cool just because besides us, like there's a lot of sports having a lot of success here. And I think a lot of people wouldn't really, picture that for like the only private school in the Big Ten. And, a lot of there's some like characteristics about our school that wouldn't, scream at you at, athletic success. But really right now it's kind of like the prime of our sports era because, I mean, you'll go somewhere on a Tuesday, got like a team that's, compete for a national championship and, various sports. And then like kids will come to our games on the weekends and stuff. And, we're winning games, getting to the tournament. And, in basketball realm, football had a good season. So, it's been really cool to just see the success, from our program, just kind of get out around the campus and just to see the support's been, it's awesome. Like, it's kind of hard to even put into words, but no, it's been a really good experience.
Do you think that because of what's happened the last 2 years, though, now, do you think the expectation is there for you guys to just keep doing that, even though it's been, it hasn't been something that's been consistent at Northwestern until now? Do you think that going into next season, the expectation level is just as high or even higher for next year?
Yeah, to us it is. We like you kind of see it with the school we go to. A lot of times when you get into like the preseason rankings or you get into like the preseason kind of like guesstimates of what everybody's going to be like, we know that a lot of times we're not going to be picked to finish very high, year in and year out. But around for us, like that is our expectation every year to try to get back to the tournament, and we want to make it to the second weekend because now this is 2 years in a row losing in the round of 32, and just that journey, like you kind of get hooked on that journey. So just to like even when our season ended, everybody was kind of didn't know what to do with themselves and instantly started thinking about next year. But yeah, for us and in-house in our program, our expectation will definitely be to get there and make it even farther next year.
Brooks, man, dude, nobody has beaten Purdue like you guys have beaten Purdue. Purdue is obviously, I mean, the best team in the Big Ten these past 2 years, but you guys took them down last year once, took them down this year once, and then took it right to them at Mackey. this year as well. I mean, obviously that's a lot due to you guys' offense and Chris Collins, but you guys are playing stellar defense in those games as well. I mean, what is it with the locker room when you guys are playing Purdue? Like, you guys give them the toughest matchup of anybody in the Big Ten. Like, is it a mentality thing? Is it something Chris Collins says before the games? I mean, what is it for you guys that just like inspires you to play your best basketball games against them?
I think it's just I think one thing that our group is really good at doing is just kind of stepping up to the task at hand. And I mean, for us, like we get really excited to play a team like Purdue and a team like Illinois and the teams like that, just because like, those are two of the like, better teams in the country. And like, it's really just a great opportunity. We always see games like that as just a really good opportunity to go kind of show people what we're made of. And we know going into those games that nobody's really giving us a chance. So I think that kind of really gives us a little edge to us just because, we really don't have anything to lose going into those games. So I think our coaches do a really good job prepping us for those games. And at the end of the day, our program, like if I had to give us one characteristic, it's that we compete. And I think that's just really all that comes from just us trying to compete and go out there and show people that we have a really good ball program ourselves.
Yeah. Our next segment, after we do this interview, we're getting ready to talk about the national championship game, obviously, because it's tomorrow. And, I want to talk about Northwestern a lot, but we can sit here and discuss everything that we want to discuss with stats and analytics and everything, but you have competed against both of these teams now. So who better to ask about what you think about tomorrow night's game? I'm not going to make you make a prediction, but I will ask this. A lot of fans in the conference don't want to see Purdue win based on what I see on Twitter. Is there any conference pride between the players? Like, hey, these guys are from the same conference as us, or is it the same as the fans? You're like, I don't want to see them win because we play them all the time. I know these guys.
Yeah. I think for me personally, if Purdue won, I think it would be really good for the conference. I think that for players, it's a little different because you compete against these guys, like throughout the whole year, and then to see them kind of make it that far, it would kind of suck to see them not really get over the hump. But on the contrary, I played against UConn as well, and I just have so much respect for Hurley, and the words that Hurley kind of had for our team after the game were really kind. Just kind of knowing that we've kind of been through a lot of adversity, and for us to, I think we're the only team to win a half against them all tournament. We won the second half after getting demolished the first half, honestly. But like just to kind of go against both teams and kind of now seeing them kind of, meet at the apex is really kind of a cool experience because, we competed against both teams and, had some success against Purdue. Didn't really have a lot of success against UConn, but really, I think that it's whoever wins tomorrow or whatever. I think that it's going to be good for the game regardless. But there's definitely a sense that you kind of want to see the in-conference teams win just because, then we would have a Big Ten champion. And I think going into next year, that kind of, puts a little confidence under the whole, like the whole Big Ten kind of just landscape. I know we got some new teams coming, but to say that the last year's champion was a Big Ten, affiliate would be really cool. But, I think either way, they're both such good teams. They're both, very different. So it's going to be really cool to see that game tomorrow.
We have Philip in the chat here. He's bringing up that Northwestern, you guys lost Barry and Nicholson, unfortunately, toward the end of the year. I mean, what does that do for the team? Like, obviously, great players like Barry and Nicholson, those guys were huge for you all, and obviously you don't want to see them go down like that. But what's that mentality like for the team when you see those guys go down? Your toughest stretch of the season is still ahead. Like, what's that thought process like? And, obviously next man up, but, what does that look like a little bit more practically in the locker room?
Yeah, I think really kind of like what you said, a big like kind of motto for us is just kind of like next man up. And I think what Ty and Matt did such a good job of doing is when they got hurt, they just stayed super involved. Like, for instance, we had a kid named Blake Smith really step up, walk on when, Ty went out. And Ty was the meat. Like I would love to say, all the guys on the court were giving Blake a lot of confidence, but the person who really gave Blake a lot of confidence was Ty. Going to him and be like, look, you're made for this moment. Like you've always wanted this moment, so now you have to seize it, and you're good enough to seize it. So just those guys just kind of being really, great locker room guys once they went down was a big reason why that we still kind of had some success after they went out, just because they gave everybody confidence. And a lot of people kind of looked at us like we had no hope after those two guys went down, minus two starters. So it kind of just gave everybody else a little spark to go out there and get it done.
I've been on record multiple times on this podcast, on other podcasts. You can pull the tapes. I have said for 2 years straight now that Coach Collins is the best coach in the conference. He's one of the top 5 coaches in the country. I think I finally have somebody on the show with me that will back me on this. What is it about Coach Collins? What does he do specifically that gets you guys going so well each game?
Yeah, I think he just kind of embodies the spirit that all the players have. Just being super competitive, knowing that, the reason why I feel like we've had some success this last few years is because the coaches and players' mentalities and, their, what they want to happen, it really, kind of aligns. So for us, we're trying to get this program on the map, and so does he. So once he got the right guys in the group that would really go out there and kind of play like that and embody that, he was really able to be his whole self. And by that, I mean coaching is very hard, giving us freedom in terms of, being ourselves on offense, because he finally had the group that he can really trust, to do that. So I think it's just really, he aligns with us, we're all super competitive. And at the end of the day, a couple years ago, I think people were, kind of questioning, whether, he should be the coach here. And we're so glad that we debunked that, rumor, and to know that this is his program, and without him, we wouldn't be anything. So, no, it's really cool to just see these last 2 years and how our relationships have really kind of translated to the court.
Now, Brooks, man, one thing that we know in the Big Ten that we take our pride in is our home court arenas and just how special they are. I'm on record saying I think Northwestern is one of the most intimidating arenas in college basketball, even though it's not one of the biggest. Man, I see your fans go crazy there, and I need to experience one of those games here soon. But obviously, you've been all around the Big Ten, been in there for 3 years now. I'm not asking you to give me the most hype or the most crazy one, but what are some ones or maybe some experiences in some Big Ten arenas that you can highlight as yeah, this place was shaking and it was pretty loud?
Yeah, no, I think Purdue always is going to stand out, especially with kind of the way their arena kind of goes down into the ground, and there's a ping when any noise is made. So just the the sound just always echoes, and it's so loud there. But I think this year at Purdue was really cool, just because it was a really good high level game, and it was super loud, and that was just a really good battle. But then I'm trying to think of other ones. Michigan State was always, you're always going to get a lot of really good games there. But no, really, but one that really stayed, and honestly, I think Welsh Ryan is, easily top 5. And a lot of people wouldn't say that just because maybe the size and maybe the history behind it. But our students, we can only probably fit about, I think maybe a little under 2,000 in there. But when they're in there, they're going crazy. So, because the gym only seats about 8K itself. But I really also do really like Rutgers Arena, the RAC. And it's a really underrated one too, for sure, just because it's kind of like a high school gym, and I'm from Indiana, so I love high school gyms, and kind of how the way they're kind of formatted. But no, Rutgers is a really cool game too. This year we lost there, and it was a mess, but last year was a really special game for our program, because I know you guys probably remember going in, if we lost, we were the 9 seed. If we win, we're the 2 seed. So to be able to go there and win on the road, and just that experience doing it in the RAC was a super, super special moment for our program. So those arenas really stick out to me, for sure.
That's awesome.
Let me ask a follow-up really fast to that,
Yeah,
Ken.
go ahead.
So you had one of your best games of the season at Nebraska this year, and that was one thing we talked about a ton, was Nebraska as well.
Yeah.
Is that another
Nebraska
one that just shook?
Yeah, I just completely forgot about Nebraska. No, when Tominaga hit the 3 to kind of seal that game there, I don't you could feel the floor shake. So that, no, Nebraska's really cool too, because Nebraska, the thing I love about their fans is even 2 years ago when I was a freshman and I didn't really play, and they weren't very good either. When we went there, we weren't a great team and they weren't either, but that crowd was sold out. And it's just a testament. And I think it was in the middle of the week. So it's just a testament of their fans are so loyal through thick and thin. So Nebraska is definitely another arena that I absolutely love.
I mentioned at the top of the show that you just made your announcement that you are coming back next year to Northwestern. At this point in time, seeing an announcement like that on Twitter is the anomaly, not the norm anymore. How enticing was it, or how much did you even think about entering the transfer portal? And was there any factors that would have made you leave Northwestern, and why did you come back?
Yeah, no, not at all. Like I've always, like when I committed here, I knew I was going to graduate here. So I really it honestly wasn't an announcement I was coming back. It's really just like I usually always make a post on Twitter after the season. I did one last year too, but just kind of to thank the fans and like just to kind of like reflect on the year. So it's kind of funny. Like you see, I saw some people like commenting on the post and was like, my heart dropped for a second, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, but he's coming back. So it's just funny to kind of see the, it's kind of sad like today that everybody's kind of up and moving and leaving and kind of switching schools every year. But I'm not really one of those guys. So no, like I really love where I'm at. So I'm gonna be here until I graduate.
Question kind of going along with that. Ryan Legboard came in this season from Princeton, I believe, if I remember correctly. And obviously, he was a big part of the team as well. How is that, like, acclimating transfers into the team now and, like, trying to bring them in? And, I played on sports all my life. I played NAIA in college, and I could never imagine, like, just, like, up and moving to a school one year or, like, having guys come in for a year, maybe leaving the next or something like that. Like, how is that acclimating those guys in and playing together when you need so much cohesion and so much chemistry on the court together to play well?
Yeah, it's definitely different because, like, usually you used to just getting, guys out of high school and then maybe, like a grad transfer now and then. But now, like just with the landscape of college sports, it's harder, but as soon as the spring starts, like I think a lot of coaches and, their leaders kind of talk about it, kind of got to become, like a team's best recruiter. And just because like a lot of kids that, I know and that a lot of my teammates know enter the portal and, if we think that they can help them, it's just about, if our coaches, and the harder thing about us is getting them in to school because we're a really good academic school. But like you said, Ryan, he's actually my roommate. He's not here right now, but he's like has became kind of like my best friend. And it's funny because the bond has only been like in the works for a year, but just kind of when you go through a Big Ten season with, like a kid that is just as good as a kid as Ryan is and competitive, like you really build bonds that, last a lifetime. So it's funny because, I think our school takes pride in getting kids in the portal that are, one, match our character, and another one just, are going to help us win by any means necessary. So it's definitely different, but you kind of got to adapt in today's, day and age.
I only have one more question, but I'm going to put two in one because I said I'd get you out of here in 20 minutes. The first one anytime I talk to a player, I ask my kids if they have any questions, and my 9-year-old daughter, Vera, I'll give her a shout-out. She plays basketball, and every year she plays, they get to pick their mascot. So she was wondering if you would change Northwestern's mascot from the Wildcats, what would you choose? And then my follow-up last question, this one's just for me while you think about that. We've debated on this very show before Chicago's best pizza. You're so close to Chicago, I don't know how much you get down into the city, but give us your best pizza place, too, before we let you go. And then I'll let JR, you can finish it up.
Yeah, I can't lie. Those
are two tough questions, kid.
Those are tough ones.
Super tough
I told you I wasn't
questions.
going to catch you off guard, and then I gave you the off-guard ones at the end. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. The mascot ones, that one's hard. I'm not going to lie because there's a lot of really cool mascots. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's funny. I guess it's kind of a generic answer, but in my high school was the Broncos, but it was funny because we spelled it, which is so weird to me. We spelled it with a CH instead of just a C.
Oh.
So it was really pronounced. Oh. It was pronounced Broncos, but if you really look at it, it's like Bronchos. And I don't know why we spelled it like that. They said that whenever they started high school, they spelled it like that. So I guess I would have to go with the Broncos, but spelled kind of
we should
funny.
say it. No, we'll change it to that. We'll use that spelling, but we'll say it the other way. It'll be Northwestern Bronchos.
The Bronchos, yeah. I guess that would be my answer. And then The pizza place, that's tough because I don't think I've really been down to try enough different spots to have a good just a good like a feel for it. But I do really like Lou Malnati's. So
Yes.
and it's close, so I really do like the stuff they got there. So I guess those would be my two answers.
We got to put a running tally, JR, because that is now he's joined me now with the Lou Malnati, so that's winning at the moment.
Yeah, we'll put a scoreboard up at some point. So, Brooks, one more, dude, if you don't mind. We have Philip here in the chat again. He's talking about having Boo move on. I don't feel like it's appropriate to talk Northwestern basketball without mentioning him. We have been huge Boo fans on this podcast all season long, and just what he's meant to the school and to everybody there. It sounds like he's just been one of those guys that will go on, legend for so long. I mean, what's it like moving on next year without Boo? Obviously, there's still a ton of talent on this team, but you guys have any thoughts about moving on without him next year?
Yeah, it's going to be different, because Boo's the best player to ever put on that purple and white. So it's hard, to see a guy like Boo go. But at the end of the day, like, it's our job to just, keep holding his legacy up and, trying to take what he built and build on that. So he's been such a good mentor and just somebody to look at. And, I'm biased, but I don't understand. I don't really see another, even if there is a couple, like, I don't understand. Like, I definitely think he should be able to play at the highest level next year. So I'm super excited to see him kind of go chase that dream. But, yeah, like, it's definitely going to be different. But, it'll be, like I said, a lot of people kind of see him go, and rightfully so, know that we got a lot of work to keep, to fill, some of the shoes because those are really big shoes that he's leaving behind. But like I said, it's a really good challenge. It's going to be cool to kind of step up and be like, kind of like the number one leader in terms of just on and off the court. So I'm really excited for it. It'll be a really good challenge, and I think a lot of kids on our team will be able to grow since they've seen Boo's trajectory. Now that he's leaving, we can try to pick up a couple of buckets and just try to kind of fill the shoes that he's leaving behind. So but he's meant everything to our program, and I'm super glad we sent him out the right way. Getting to the tournament and getting to round 32. Hopefully, next year we all improve. Get a couple additions and make it to the second weekend, if not further.
Hey, I love it, Brooks. Hey, we're planning on seeing you in the NCAA tournament again next year, man. And like
Yes,
you
sir.
said, hopefully Sweet 16, Elite 8. Hey, just set your goals for the Final Four. We'll see you there.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it,
Good
guys.
luck,
Thank
man.
you so
Thanks
much.
for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Brooks. Hey, everybody, we're going to hit a commercial really fast, and then we'll get back to it. We'll talk about the Purdue stuff going on, then we'll get to our future news after that. Here's a commercial. Looking to rep your alma mater or your favorite team in style? Look no further than Home Field. Home Field, based in Indianapolis, is your go-to destination for premium collegiate apparel. With a passion for comfort and a flair for vintage design, Home Field brings you officially licensed gear that is cozy as it is stylish. With over 150 colleges to choose from, Home Field digs deep into the archives, uncovering forgotten logos, iconic mascots, and legendary moments to create apparel that is truly one of a kind. Head on over to homefieldapparel.com. Use my code TBTH for 15% off for new customers, or use my link in the description. If you're a serious college basketball fan, you need CBB Analytics. CBB Analytics isn't just another stat site. It's the ultimate destination for in-depth basketball analysis. Used by fans and coaches alike, CBB Analytics delivers stats that you won't find anywhere else. It has comprehensive stats for men's and women's basketball across Division 1 through 3, dating all the way back to 2018. From shooting percentages to game recaps, CBB Analytics has it all. Head on over to cbbanalytics.com. With their user-friendly interface and extensive selection, you'll have all the stats you need right at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Try CBB Analytics for free or pay for a pro tier for your basketball knowledge to grow to the next level. CBB Analytics, where every stat tells a story and every game is a masterpiece. All right, I'm trying to get, whoops.
No, just leave it like that. That'll be fine. That's cool. That's cool, dude. No one cares anymore. Brooks is gone. No one cares.
I don't know why I did that. I'm trying to get Dylan in here because he said he wants to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's what I
you
was
don't
just
wanna be
texting
Ohio
you
State.
about during the break.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you talk about some moments from the Purdue game really fast, Kent, and I'll DM Dylan and see if we can get him in here.
Yeah, take your time. I can talk about this game for as long as you need me to. But let me start by saying that I had to watch it back today because my wife didn't realize that we had we as a country had the Final Four this Saturday, and it's not her fault, but she was already signed up to go to a gala. Some people say gala. And so I had to rent a tuxedo this week, and we were at a gala last night during both games. I missed both of the games. The only thing that I saw was the last minute of the first half live, and that was when I was at the bar refreshing the drinks, and I was able to catch that. So I saw Fletcher's three right before halftime. But watching it back today, though, saw a lot, obviously, and I saw a lot of good things from Purdue, and mainly my biggest two takeaways were the offensive rebounding and the number one three-point shooting team in the country playing like they were the number one three-point shooting team in the country, right on their average of 40% last night. And they had 11 offensive rebounds, and to me that was the difference in the game. I think for me personally going into it, I didn't think that Burns would be ready. Not ready. Obviously he was ready. He wasn't scared of Zach Edey, but I didn't think he would be able to do enough to slow Zach down, and that was pretty obvious right off the rip. And especially in the first half, Zach was able to kind of get what he wanted when he wanted it, and them having to collapse on him is what opened up all the threes in the first half especially. But the main thing is, like, this is just a different Purdue team like we've been saying all year. They never got nervous. It got within, I think it was 3 right before Fletcher hit that 3 in the first half, and you never saw Purdue fold. There he is. He's back.
The champs are
Oh man,
here.
he's taking over. Go ahead. I won't even finish what I was saying. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I'm just
No.
excited.
It's fine. It's
I'm
fine.
a
Go
little
ahead.
pumped up. I'm a little pumped up. I think Russ is on his way. He's old. Takes a minute to figure out the internet. But no, happy to be here, boys. I was wondering why there was no Purdue welcoming here. Why when we play in the biggest game of my lifetime tomorrow night.
Well, we didn't know how long Brooks would be in here. Kent told me he was getting Brooks in, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's staying for the whole thing. And he was like, well, let me figure it out.
That he is having a player on is much more important than my stooge self. So
No, you're more than a stooge, Dylan.
thank you. I appreciate it, JR. It's a good to
what'd
be
you
here.
feel, though, dude? I was trying to tune in for the BXP after the game. I was getting ready to see a cigar or something like that, dude. I mean, come on. Give us, what were you feeling after the game?
I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I cried. I teared up. Okay. I didn't know. It's like Ricky Bobby. He's like, what do I do with my hands? I didn't know what to do. Like, we've never had this type of situation. There's Russie. Russie Hot Takes in the building, everybody. He's only 85 and he's up this late. Congratulations, Russie.
Are the sunglasses? What are the sunglasses? Are you high right now?
Yes, he is.
Oh no, that's a BXP thing here.
Normally,
sorry.
I wore
We
the
don't want
sunglasses.
sunglasses on the Big Ten Huddle.
This is a classy establishment, unlike the Boiler Express podcast. We're in a nice restaurant. Okay, Russ, act your age. Jeez.
We're very well organized, as you can tell. Like, just
we were on our podcast and we cut our podcast short to come here. So, like,
Oh wow,
shout out to our tens of listeners who
wow.
yeah, Big Mac Mary. I'm not Big Mac Mary. I don't know who Big Mac. I know who
hype
she
man,
is.
Hype man for Big Mac Mary, not Big Mac Mary.
Sorry, I can't read. Whoops. Good to see you, Eric. Great podcast today. Glad I could be in the comments per usual. I probably like JR, your guys' listeners for the OHIO pod have to be so confused as to why there's a Purdue guy in the comments every week. But
Well, at this point, we have a Purdue guy, a Tennessee guy, and we had the Minnesota guys in there as well.
Speaking of Tennessee, your boy's never allowed back in the state of Tennessee ever again. Ever again. Tennessee fans hate I was getting hateful DMs. Oh my God. I got threats of things I don't want to say because I don't want to get you demonetized on YouTube. But like, oh man, if I
live in Tennessee, dude. I'll give you a pass. You can come hang out with me.
There are going to be a lot of angry people with pitchforks and
That's fine.
flames at your house.
They're like that anyways down here, no matter what.
Get to the game, Dylan, man. What was your favorite part of the game? I was saying that DJ Burns was not as much as what NC State fans wanted to tell me that he was going to be, and no disrespect to NC State, I don't think anybody's been able to guard Zach Edey so far this year. Donovan Clingan will probably be the best bet for it, but we'll talk about that game in a minute. I mean, what'd you think of the game, man?
Burns was gassed. Like he was running out there like me at a pickup game. Like I'm a big fella, he's a big fella. Homie was running like me throughout the game. And just, guarding Zach is it'll gas anybody. It'll tire anybody out. And I like Burns. Burns is electric. He's got a great personality. Even though he backtracked on his comments, he was like, nobody's something. I'm not gonna quote it exactly, but he's like, no one's guarded Edey like I have. And he's like, well, like maybe I shouldn't tick off Zach Edey. Let's not do that. But no, man, I'm nervous before every game. I don't care if it's the first game of the year against Northwestern. Shout out. Or like this last game. I'm constantly nervous. Our group chat, oh boy, it's something before a game, especially a Final Four game. And but no, it was a great game. It wasn't our best game, but the fact we didn't play our best game and still won by the margin we did is pretty impressive. Braden's got to clean some things up. Those over and backs were not ideal. Edey was even, got rid of there. He had some turnovers there. He's got to clean up. But I think Paint's one of the best fixers of all time, and he'll get it fixed up, I'm sure.
What do you think, Russ?
Yeah, good job, Dylan, on the over and back, because I just taught him that term.
I couldn't remember. I was like, back and backs. What are they called?
Like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, what happened there?
So JR once said that Dylan's really like on sports podcasts, but doesn't ever talk much about sports while on the podcast, and that's something I'm very proud of.
That was probably the most sports comment you've ever made there. That little monologue was awesome. Like,
thank you.
We're training you well over there, but
I'm growing up over here, boys.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was kind of similar to what Dylan was. Is that it wasn't a great game for us, and we still got it done. But I would say it wasn't a great game offensively. Our defense, I was very happy with, and our rebounding, I was very happy with. It's just we didn't get some shots to go, which makes me nervous. But Braden got, I think, a late three there that went in. That was good for him to see one go in, but. Yeah, Burns just was not, as much as he talked about, well, Edey's never faced anybody that's put scoring pressure on him like I'm going to. And then he immediately, even in that statement, backtracked and was like, oh, well, maybe he has. I don't know. But, yeah, it just the pace that we played at in the first half there, I think we got backed up like on 2 or 3 media timeouts that got him really gassed. And he just was not as effective as what he's been in this tournament. And we took care of business.
Yeah, man, you sure did. We have Philip here. He's saying Shaq Edey versus Kling Kong. Man, kid, did you see Shaq dapping Edey up after the game, dude? I mean, that was, to me, that was like one of the coolest things of the night was seeing that. What'd you think, Kent?
I didn't see the actual video of it, but someone shared a screenshot and said, I'd never thought I'd see Shaq look small, which it did. It was weird. I was like, man, is he that much taller than – is Shaq shrinking? Because he used to be 7'2", I thought, right? How tall is he?
7 foot or 7'1"? I don't know if he was ever 7'2".
He's tall.
I don't know. He's very tall. He's over
probably 300 pounds. I knew that.
Yeah,
he's
big guy.
No, that was cool. It feels like Shaq's on board, though. I saw another video going around that said, I think he just said "Go Purdue," and that was.
I tweeted that one.
Oh, was that you? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
You guys, if you find Shaq saying "Go Purdue," you gotta. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Shaq's on board.
He's a boy.
So, Dylan, are you okay with having a Shaq bandwagon for Purdue? Is that okay with you?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I am. If Shaq, I need to come up with like a Shaq Boilermaker sort of nickname for him. He's the Shaqtus when he's in Phoenix, the Big Shamrock. I got to come up with my brain's going to be thinking about that.
I'm going to design some Shaq Purdue shoes tonight after we get done with this podcast. That's going to be my edit tonight. It's going to be the old like Walmart Shaq shoes, but it's going to be Purdue like colors, and like I'll put a train on there or something and tweet it out for you guys.
That's probably what they were talking about was getting shoes, because Edey's always talking about how it's a struggle for him to find shoes or clothes or anything that fits him. So he's probably like, yo, Shaq, like, what's the hookup? How do you get shoes? Like,
he accepted the National Player of the Year award, nailed it, in a giant Carhartt. And I was like, I also wear Carhartts. Like, look at us. Like, the two in the same, really, when you think about it.
True Indiana man.
Yeah, true gritty Indiana man. That's what that is.
Hey, I do need to ask about this though. So this wasn't related to the game, but this kind of came out before the game. Dude, is it true that Zach Edey can't make NIL money because he's from Canada?
I think there's like a cap on it, right?
Yeah, he can't maximize it. He can't get the level of NIL that USA players can.
That's
But
whack, dude.
Yeah, because that was part of the reason that there was a big issue whether he was going to come back or not this year. Is he able to at least make some kind of money? Like there's a cap on it. There's some kind of limit because he's basically in the US on a visa to play college basketball. So, it's not actually technically a work visa because he's a student athlete. But they found some way to get him some money, but he's not definitely maximizing what he could get.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, he could get as much as he wanted. They just don't have to report it all. That's what most schools do. So
we don't want to be Michigan. We don't want to have to vacate our title if we win this year. We don't. We're going to get fair and square.
They can't take away. Listen, let's knock on wood there, Russ.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
You're speaking my language there, Russ.
Zach
I don't know.
Zach Edey's cryptocurrency wallet is full right now.
I don't know if we need to stick with the recap and the preview now that Dylan's here, but Cody has a good question here. He says, do you think Braden is going to have a breakout game tomorrow since he wasn't the same last night? I think Cody's probably talking about the over and backs that Dylan was talking about in reference there.
Back and backs.
And I think he was like 0 for 6 going into halftime or something like that. I mean,
one good.
Russ, what do you think, man? You think Braden's going to show up against Tristan Newton and UConn?
I do. It's been the history for him, especially this year. But even last year, he showed the ability to bounce back when he has an off game or a down game. And you saw even this year when he got left off the top 10 point guard finalist list, right? Like he played out of his mind the next 4 or 5 games. And now we're talking Final Four. So this is the biggest stage where, yes, I do feel like he wants to leave his mark. He doesn't want to just have been in the Final Four and, hey, we made a title game. Like he wants to bounce back. He plays with his chip on his shoulder every game. He doesn't need Bobby Hurley making up, stories to play with a chip on his shoulder. He naturally does that. He's his own biggest critic, and I think he's going to bring it tomorrow night for sure.
Oh, what were you going to say? Something, Dylan?
No, I was just going to say he's going to go. He's going to go off. He's going to go bananas.
I think so too.
He's going to have a hell of a game in Purdue. Oh, I don't want to say anything more.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
I couldn't even say the Final Four for weeks. I was calling it the last Quattro because I was too afraid to say. I was too afraid to say Final Four. So I'd be like the last Quattro. Let's hope we make it there. I'm so superstitious. It's so dumb.
Hey, did you guys see that Braden Smith coming back in the Big Ten tournament was inspired by my Twitter account? Did you guys notice that? Did you see that this week?
Oh,
I didn't. Congratulations.
Yeah, he sent me a video. Definitely I didn't pay for the video. He just sent it to me randomly and said that because of my Twitter account, it was he went back in the locker room, tweaked his knee, went back in the locker room, saw my tweets, and it inspired him to come back against Michigan State. So that to me, I'm cheering for him even harder now. But I didn't know I was impacting these players actually on the court now. And again, I did not pay for that.
Yeah, I knew Mason Gillis was on Cameo, but I didn't know Braden was on there too.
Who said he used Cameo?
What's Cameo?
What? No, you had a big week.
That?
A big stool of bars stole some of your content.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they stole it. They did tweet one of my videos though, but they got all the credit for it for sure.
It's even better when it's satire comments too, or satire material.
Yeah.
The one guy was the best part. Finally talking about sports, but it's not your content.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I think the part that was crazy was I was tweeting about them in the first place. I made that whole video because the narrative from Barstool is that Purdue is not fun to watch. And you guys probably, I don't know if you listened last week or not, or any show. I was on another podcast too this week, but I've been campaigning that Purdue is very fun to watch. There's a lot of fun players. Even if you don't like watching free throws, watch the game last night. There wasn't very many last night. I only shot 10 free throws last night. So what are the haters saying now? And that was what inspired the tweet in the first place was, hey, you don't like watching this? Watch all of it now. Now you have to watch all of it. Watch all these free throws. Take that. And it was literally for the haters. And it also was funny just to watch him shoot all those free throws all in one video. It was a little funny to do that too.
The haters are sick.
Yeah, they
Well,
were
and you don't have to
disgusting.
add that many more to it, Kent. If he only shot 2, so
I'm
you're
not.
gonna
I'm
add
not
to your
going.
video.
I am not going back to that edit. That edit is done.
Come on.
The Ohio podcast says, I was listening to 97.1 The Fan, that's a radio station in Columbus this morning, and got a shout out, Kent, with one of your tweets. That's cool, dude.
Ooh.
So
Wow,
you're on local radio now with your tweets. That's awesome.
that's incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And that's what he's saying. That was the tweet they were talking about. So
Yeah, that tweet definitely made its rounds, and I'm glad too because that took me forever to do that. I was telling JR before, like clipping down 300 free throws into a 3-minute video. That's why I'm saying I'm not going back to that edit. Like the fact that my computer is still working right now is a miracle. Shout out to my little brother for building this beast of a computer to be able to do that.
that's
Man.
hilarious. Russ, this one looks like it's for you. Does UConn put Castle on Smith? Philip, one of our Illinois fans. We appreciate Philip being here. What do you think, Russ?
They don't like me either.
So
Hey,
I
Philip is really cool. We like Philip around here.
So
He's
Philip and Sonny, I like Sonny too. So there's
yeah,
two Illinois fans.
Philip's on the same level with Sonny. They're
Philip,
great.
I like you, buddy. Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
So
Russ.
is-
Sorry, go ahead, Russ.
No, you're good. Is Castle their longest perimeter defender? Because I feel like that's what they'll do. I didn't exactly look into the height. Yeah, he's 6'6". So yeah, I would think they will. Because that's been one of the ways to try to slow down Purdue's offense, and especially playing through Edey, is by pressuring Braden and making it hard for him to even get the ball to Edey in the first place. Because it's hard to take away a 7'4" target completely, but if you can keep Braden from having an easy pass into him, then that's the way that, especially if you saw NC State, they blitzed the crap out of him on ball screens. And that's what kind of caused our offense to get a little out of sorts. And, even their blitzing is what caused those over and backs. Like he constantly kind of, staggers that line, the half court line. He waits till the offense kind of sets up. And NC State must have seen that on their scouting report, and they blitzed him a couple times. It caused those over and backs. And then there were several times where you saw some ball screens where they blitzed Braden almost all the way back to the midcourt line. And so I think that's what UConn will try to do as well. They'll put Castle on him, give him some length, and I think their bigs like Klingon, I think he will definitely try to blitz the crap out of Braden until we beat that and make them change their tactics.
Eric. No, Russ. They're back and backs.
Thank you.
My bad.
If
Two
there's a
pros.
back and back tomorrow night, I'm definitely tweeting out the back and backs are back.
The back and backs are back.
I love it.
Thank you, Eric.
And 3 people are gonna laugh. It's gonna be you 3.
It's us.
All of us.
Hey, we have listeners too, Kent. Okay, it's not
Oh, yeah,
just
that's
us
true.
talking to
Yeah,
ourselves here.
and the 26 people. Yeah, and all the people watching too. They'll laugh. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully, there's not one. By the way,
DJ16, DJ, I don't know if I've ever seen you on here. Thanks for watching tonight, man. How do you think they officiate the championship game? Many of the fouls went uncalled on Saturday evening. Will the standard for officials be different in the championship game? This was something I was going to bring up, is that it was not like Zach Edey was getting mugged at some points, and they were not calling the fouls, which, like, part of me was like, I'm cool with this because I did like to see Zach Edey score 20 and only shoot 2 free throws and kind of shut the haters up a little bit. But at the same time, like, when you foul Edey, you still got to call it. So, I mean, Kent, what do you think? Do you think the officials are going to be any better, or do you think this is another game where it's just blame the officials and everything's terrible and Purdue's only good because the officials give them good calls?
I wouldn't say that they were bad last night. I like watching. I like watching Purdue anyways. I've already said that, but I do like letting them play. And I thought last night that was better. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched the whole game. I was watching most of it through clips, but I didn't see how many of the fouls were bad or how many weren't yet because I haven't watched the full game back. I just watched all the scoring so far. But yeah, I'm really hoping that late in the game there's not an illegal screen, because if there is, there's going to be some Iowa fans that are going to have to come to the defense or not to the defense of Purdue, and that would be bad either way. Like, they're not going to want to do that, and they're definitely, I don't want any interconference fighting tomorrow night. So if there's a screen late in the game, I really hope they just let it go, no matter what. It's got to be let go, whoever it is. So I do know also, saw a tweet the other day, I believe it was the Monday game, not the Saturday game, that Courtney Green is on standby. So hopefully the refs are all healthy tomorrow,
God,
and
let's
he
hope.
can stay on standby. Is it for tomorrow? Do you guys know? Because I saw that tweet, like I said, yesterday morning. I couldn't remember, like I said, if it was last night's game or if it's Monday's game.
It
that
was
he's
for the
on standby.
semifinals. He was on standby for
Okay,
the
good. So we
Alabama
survived.
game. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if that means he was on standby because they're going to use him in the championship game, so they didn't want him to get all worn out Saturday night. Hopefully, it's what you said, that he's not going to be in the game at all Monday
Yeah.
night. But
And
yeah,
a
'cause that doesn't-
a fella named Courtney, that's suspect. But I mean, so how'd you get that name? Like you're gonna tell me that they looked at a newborn baby boy and they're like, "Your name is Courtney. Congratulations." I
it's
don't
the
know.
sequel to the Johnny Cash song "Boy Named Sue."
Sorry, we're not all old.
Big Ten
for us.
wrestling, Courtney.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, Courtney Green. Love you,
Fellow BXP Chris is here.
Chrissy Jules.
Edie drew one foul is wild. I have to amend my tweet. He shot one free throw. Frank corrected me. He did draw 3 fouls. So Stat Tank Frank, he did let me know, which I appreciate
big
that.
brain.
But you can't go back and edit the tweet after an hour or something like that. So unfortunately, we're just rolling with one, which is fine by me.
Just own it. If anyone calls you out, just be like, "No, you're wrong."
I can't do that to Frank though. He's never wrong.
Yeah, Frank's
Okay.
the big brain. Frank's the only podcaster alive that has a sponsorship for his brain. Shout out CBB Analytics, which is a sponsor of this program as well.
Yeah. Well, we only told him we do one ad an episode. Let's not do another ad here until they give us more money, Dylan. So
Whoops. I'll pay my fine. I had to pay 2 fines last week for cursing. Well, I said something in the comments in this and I paid a fine. And then I went on the OHIO pod, called in and had to pay another fine. But
Man.
you know, it's all self, I did them. I self accountable.
Yeah, you did the Michigan route. You just self-imposed those fines.
Yeah, I self-imposed them, and you come out better on the other end.
yeah.
Oh no, we're still reviewing the one from last week. There will be a fine sent back out to you. So
Darn it!
it does factor in that you already paid your fine, but
But you
We're still
said the word.
reviewing it.
Ken. I didn't. I PG'd it. You're the one that said the word
that's true.
when Zach Eady said he had a certain
Yeah.
something
I'm paying my fine with the service I provide to this program.
program. Okay,
Hey, he was the one that got Brooks in here, so
that is
Right.
Paul,
important.
Dylan, did you tell them the Brooks story before I came in here?
No,
It better
So we-
don't say anything negative about Brooks.
No,
we
it wasn't
like-
negative.
we
It
love
He's
wasn't
an
Okay.
negative.
Indiana fellow.
So we obviously are sitting there, and it's just me and Dylan and the Boiler Express tonight, not all 5 of us. And so we're kind of like, what do we do? Let's see what JR and Kent are doing. What's going on over there? And so I told Dylan to go check it out, and he goes, "Yeah, it's Kent and JR and some guy from Northwestern whose mic's not even working. He's like on his phone, some Brooksy guy." And I was like, "Are you talking about Brooks Barnhizer?" He's like, "Yes. Is he like on the team or something?" I'm like, "Dude, he's from Lafayette, Indiana. Like he's not."
I
just
don't
on
pay
the team.
attention to things outside of Purdue. Get off my back. All right, golly. Shout
They
out
played
to
them
him.
twice this year, though.
Yeah, okay. You think okay? We just said how JR brought up how I'm on a sports podcast, but don't talk a lot about sports.
That's true.
I mean, I'm the personality hire at the Boiler Express podcast.
God, I want to go to a game with you so bad, dude. We'll have a
Do it.
blast.
I have football season tickets. I don't basketball, but
Hey,
football.
okay.
Purdue spring game Saturday. Dylan and I should be there. So,
Yeah, shout out. I was texting Vinny Sutherland. That's a plug. And saw a bunch of alums are going to be there, so we're pretty excited for that. But anyway, kind of a big deal.
That will be fun.
We're not here to talk football, though. We're here to talk about.
you guys see the background. It's a basketball.
I don't know if we're
court.
here to talk about basketball either. You don't know who Brooks Barnhizer is.
Listen. You know what you're getting. Oh, I mean, we did invite ourselves, so that's
Dylan
I'm
has
here-
learned what an overback is and who
Back
Brooks
and back.
Barnhizer is tonight.
I'm learning a lot about sports, guys. Holy crap! What a time to be alive.
Hey, here's a comment from Philip again that I support. Can Edie elbow Cam Spencer so he can say it was an accident? How are we feeling about Cam Spencer in this game, guys? Obviously, was at Rutgers and making his way on over to UConn, and I've heard him be compared to Kasai Tamanaga with how much passion he plays with. I feel like he's the alternate of Kasai Tamanaga, where people kind of dislike him. Even
Yeah.
though he's very passionate. But Kent, what are your thoughts on? I mean, you're the biggest Big Ten fan here. What are your thoughts on Cam going from Rutgers to UConn and now facing Purdue in the national championship?
Loved Cam last year. Loved him last year. And, once guys leave, I'm done with them. They leave my heart. as soon as they're out of the conference. So I will not be cheering for him. It'll be fun to see him on the court again against a Big Ten team, but I hope he plays terribly, and I hope that they lose. So that's my 2 cents about him, and I think you're absolutely right. He's like the most. I mean, this is not directly from me. I don't hate him. I don't like him anymore. I don't hate him, but I think he is.
Dislike.
Yeah, I guess I don't even know if I'd say I dislike him. He's just non-existent to me now, though, because he's not in the conference. I think it's more of that. But based on what I've heard from other people, tweets, and personal conversations, he's one of the most hateable players in college basketball. No one likes him. I don't think.
I thought we had that guy. I thought everyone hated that guy.
I said one of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You definitely have number one.
Which is ridiculous. Don't even get me started. Anyway.
What do you think about Cam Spencer Russ?
Yeah, I mean, he was a thorn in our side at Rutgers, so I'm scared to death he's going to be the thorn in our side tomorrow night. Like, he's going to drop 6 or 7 threes on us, and it's going to be, not good again. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I would not be against an accidental elbow on Cam Spencer. I'm just going to say that, yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
What's the I need to know, JR, if I can jump in front of you real quick. What's the setup tomorrow night for you boys? Like, this is, a very important game. Like you say, one of the most important games of your lives. Are the kids, like, I don't know if you guys even have kids, but are the kids gone? Do you have to watch a game like this solo? You're definitely not leaving the house, I'm assuming, because you have to be at home base for a game like this, I would guess. Russ, like, what's the setup tomorrow?
So it's going to be an emotional night for like all Purdue fans, which every one of the last 3 games has been, or last 2, with Tennessee being our shot to go to the Final Four, and then Saturday night obviously getting to the title game for the first time since 1969.
Nice.
But it's pretty much, I think every Purdue fan is just finding people to watch the game with. Like my brother thought about going out to Phoenix, but couldn't really get together with somebody to go out there. So he's like, well, I'm going to find people that I know or am related to watch the game with. So you okay down there, Dylan? You good?
I'm good.
I think you missed it.
I think I did.
The 1969 comment.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Okay. I knew. Should have known.
I was about to say you podcast with me every week. I told you not know.
Well, we're on the professional podcast now. We're not just.
I'm bringing down the
randomly,
professionalism.
Okay? But no, I'm. There's a lot of people that have lost. A lot of people that have gone to Purdue that they would have loved to watch the game with. So I am watching it with my dad tomorrow night. So
awesome.
Very blessed to be doing that. I'll be thinking about my mom that graduated from Purdue that can't be here to see this. And having guys that I've met through podcasting like Dylan that I know he's suffered some loss. It makes me not take for granted the ability to go watch it with my dad and enjoy this once in a lifetime experience. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching by myself at home because I can't be in public during such a game. I don't have kids, so it's me and my dog. So shout out to Gordy the Golden Doodle. The reason I'm a Purdue fan is because my dad grew up going to football games with my dad. First game, I was like 6 months old or something stupid. And why my mother agreed to take me to such a thing, I don't know. Shout out to Deb. But I lost my dad 2 years ago, and I wish like hell he was here to see it. He'd be going bananas. After every tournament win this year, my first stop is a cemetery, which is like 5 minutes from my house because I live in a farm town and everything's 5 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my go-to stop. And so it's been an emotional run because I wish my dad was here. Luckily for me, I got 2 of his fraternity brothers from Delta Sigma Phi at Purdue, which they're both in Phoenix. They left me here. Anyway, shout out to Uncle Louie and Uncle Bob. Thanks, guys. It's going to be an emotional one. I was emotional after Sunday's win or Saturday's win. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do if they pull it off tomorrow night. I'm going to be an absolute chaotic mess of emotions. But yeah, I'm just excited. I think, obviously as a fan base, us Purdue fans have been through a lot of crap, a lot of bad years in football, basketball, other sports, who knows? But man, like it's gonna be wild. Just last night, like I'm watching the TV last night, Saturday night, and I'm like, man, like Purdue's I've told myself Purdue's playing in a Final Four. I don't know how many times. It's insane to wrap your head around because I just never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. But no, I'll be watching at home by myself because people have invited me, like, why don't you come out, come over, watch the game. I'm like, I don't want to put you all through that. It's enough I had to watch the Elite Eight game in front of my entire family at Easter, and they had to watch that nonsense from me. So yeah, dude, it's going to be an emotional one. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I'm ready for it. But it's going to be a doozy.
How are you watching, kid?
I just texted all the boys. We're actually going to head out for this one. We usually one of my neighbors has a really nice basement set up, and that's usually the go-to spot for bigger games. But I was like, let's do it a little different, boys. Let's head out. So I got some plans for some side bet gambling that we're going to do. But there's a higher end bar that I need to call in the morning to make sure that they're going to be open late enough for the what time is it tipping off at?
9:20.
9:20. Yeah.
Stupid.
Past Russie's bedtime. It's ridiculous.
So 8:20.
I'm surprised if you're
Central
close
then?
with Braden, you didn't get like courtside seats from Braden after motivating him to come back in and play. Like,
Yeah, he did. He mentioned it.
But you're so humble, you denied.
Yeah, I was busy this weekend. Like I said, I had to go. I had stuff going on. He couldn't give me the
wouldn't really fit-
championship tickets. He had the Final Four, like he had the semifinal tickets for me. He was like, I can't get the. I was like, dude, I'm busy on Saturday night. He was like, I get it, bro.
I
I
get
wouldn't
it.
really fit the casual nature of the Big Ten fan in you. Is that you're going to a Final Four courtside tickets? Like, I feel like that's a little bit more serious than just casual, there, kid.
Yeah,
You're humble.
yeah. I mean, I would have definitely gone if they were offered to me. No doubt
Forget the
about it, but-
casual. We're going.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But no, it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna have at least 5 or 6 guys at the bar, and we'll be gambling our little hearts out,
Rooting
responsibly.
for Purdue.
Yeah,
What
we're
are
gonna
you
be
doing,
doing a
Jay?
lot of side bets, like point totals for like the first TV timeout and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of that type of stuff.
Or how many times Zach Edey does the finger guns,
Yeah, yeah.
which hopefully is a lot.
Dunks in the first half, things
lot.
of that nature.
there you go.
So it'll be more than just your regular, like, people do Super Bowl squares every Super Bowl. It's gonna be more intense than that. But everyone that I watch football and basketball with is a massive degenerate. So like we're gonna be spending a lot of money and drinking a lot. I'll be drinking, I'll be gambling, and I will be enjoying the game. The tweets might get a little weird tomorrow night. We'll see.
Ooh, I like it. I don't drink, and I felt hungover this morning. Like I didn't know. Like I felt like hell when I woke up, and I'm like, I don't even drink. Like what happened? It's just the excitement hangover.
I was at an
What's your
open
setup,
bar
JR?
last night, and I was also hungover this morning. I was feeling hungover. I don't know why.
I'm gonna be in trouble tomorrow night. So if you guys don't know, the eclipse is happening, going on, right? And so right outside of Bloomington in Ellettsville is where my in-laws live, and my wife really, really wants to see like the totality of it or whatever. So I'm off work tomorrow. We're going down to see that. And the traffic is supposed to be so bad that you're not supposed to be able to get back to, like wherever you're going.
Anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. So, obviously, since we're right outside of Bloomington, my in-laws are massive, massive IU fans. And so they will be watching the game, and they will be hate watching the entire time. And secretly, I will be sitting there thinking in my mind, please, Zach Edey, destroy these punks and put Donovan Clingan on a poster or something like that. It's basically how it's been going all season long, because I've basically turned into a Purdue fan this season. I have never really rooted for Purdue in my life, but since starting this,
then you met us.
actually, well, I met you guys, and honestly, a big part of it is I just started respecting Zach Edey's game more. Like, I started looking around and being like everybody says just tall, right? I started looking around and being like, guys, if you just have to be tall, there are guys out there that are 7'4", 7'6". Why are they not as dominant as Zach Edey is? And so part of me now is just like, I just want Purdue to win, because I've become like this bandwagon fan of Purdue because I respect Zach Edey that much, and I really, really want to see him do well. And also, in the process of it, I've kind of became that way with Braden Smith too, where like I think Braden Smith is a better player than people give him credit for. I think Big Ten fans give him good credit. Those who are talking about actual Big Ten basketball and not just bias, which is fine. I get people are biased about their teams, and I don't have any problem with that. But people who are actually talking about the games. And so, yeah, I mean, podcast numbers do better when Purdue wins and Illinois wins. So that helps as well. But most of all, I will be sitting there probably with my hands in my lap and listen to my mother-in-law say, "Zach Edey, why do you make all these shots?"
No, you dunk on your mother-in-law and say, "Lady, listen."
I like my mother-in-law too much, which is
I'm
not,
sure
not
she's a great.
something everybody
I'm
can
sure
say.
she's a great woman. I'm sure she's great, but she's an IU fan, so I gotta,
I know, I get it.
I like my
get it.
mother-in-law a lot too. Right? We're still recording.
Yeah.
That surprised me a little bit, JR. Like, I know there's the diehard IU fans that are probably, they root for IU, and anybody playing Purdue, that's their two favorite teams. But my job takes me over Southern Indiana a lot. Now it's well south of Bloomington, so it's like Evansville, Jeffersonville, like French Lick area. And most of the IU fans I've run into this last week and this weekend especially are actually rooting for Purdue, because Indiana is one of those states where like IU and Purdue fans are kind of intertwined. Like there's parents that have 4 kids that 3 of them might go to IU, but 1 goes to Purdue, or 2 go to IU, 2 go to Purdue. So they're maybe an IU fan, but they got to root for Purdue too because they got family members that went there. So I'm seeing a lot more IU fans actually support Purdue. Like my neighbor across the street, we've been talking smack all football season and basketball season, and he's like, "Dude, I'm rooting for Purdue. I'm betting on that, the Braden overs with the point, rebound, and assists. Like I'm betting on Edey to get his 15 rebounds." So like I've seen a lot of IU fans that are actually pretty happy for Purdue to make this run.
I've seen that too, but I live in Ohio. I probably like an hour 20 away from Columbus, and every time I put up my Purdue flag in front of my house, neighbors aren't happy. My neighbors probably hate me more than they hate Purdue.
Well, you got a lot of Dayton fans around you too, right?
Yeah, but you would think, because I live in Dayton, like I'm 15 minutes from Dayton, but there are so many more Ohio State fans than Dayton fans for reasons, football and whatever. The Ohio State bandwagon is strong in Southern Ohio, and growing up around those people and growing up being a Purdue fan. Why are you a Purdue fan? I'm glad, thank God for my father, and I wasn't. No offense, JR. There's good Buckeye fans, but I'm not a lame.
There's not many of them, and I know it.
See, and before I met Eric, Chris, and Aaron, I hated everything Ohio State. Couldn't stand them. Hated them with the passion. And then I met Eric, and then I met you and the guys, and I'm like, yeah, and the people that comment on the OHIO podcast, and I'm like, you know what? These guys aren't that bad. So they've changed my mind, and I still don't like a lot of Ohio State fans. Listen. Majority
you
of the ones,
Twitter ones, didn't you?
Ooh, I found Tennessee Twitter, Illinois Twitter, Ohio State Twitter. Luckily I didn't get kicked out of the state, and I can't go to Illinois or Tennessee, so I'm kind of cornered. I'm not going to Kentucky. There ain't no way.
No way. Don't go there.
Says the guy that owns horses, but it sounds pretty clean. Whoops. Shout out Kentucky. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No. That's all I got. Eric says I turned in my Rutgers card for my Purdue card. Don't worry, Eric. My Rutgers card is still strong. They are another one. Honestly, like it's been so weird since I started this podcast. I know people are tuning in to actually hear about basketball. We just lost a listener, and that's fine. I get it. We're not really talking basketball.
Not when I'm here.
Yeah. It's been weird because I have turned more into Kent this season than I ever thought I would. I do find myself just rooting for the Big Ten more often than ever. Not Michigan. I don't root for them.
I was about to say, yeah. You actually said the word. Wow.
I know. I've gotten soft in my old age, but yeah, I mean, I don't root for them, but basically everybody else in the Big Ten, I find myself actually rooting for it because I just hate the SEC so much, and I realize how much those idiots down there are and not all of them are idiots. We have I know some SEC fans who are good guys, but at least the ones who are idiots down there, I can't stand them, and I'm I just want the Big Ten to do something well so that way they can finally be quiet about it. And
don't worry, we're taking the reins here. Okay, we got it.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank us for our service.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like I should say, just for the record, I do have a team. By the way, I cheer for a lot of the Big Ten. I'm not evenly cheering for Big Ten teams across the board here.
Can I guess your Big Ten team?
He's a Nebraska.
Yeah. As soon as we stop recording, I'll tell you who it is.
I was gonna say Rutgers.
Wow. Yeah. Go ahead and guess. That'd be fun. I'll give you a hint. I'm 37 years old. I have attended a Final Four.
You look good for 37. I'm 27.
see-
I look like shit.
To
Crap.
see my team play, I have been to a Final Four.
Oh, I had to pay another fine. Yikes.
Let's see.
So the Tony Perkins
37,
love
you
threw
would-
me off because that's not Iowa then.
You would have seen Michigan State. You would have seen who? Illinois, Ohio State.
Of course, it'd be Ohio State.
You all band together. Gross.
Weird.
Well, while
Thanks,
they're
man.
ranking, I will say Eric. I just said Eric because we're thinking about that HI guys. Jr. I will say I'm one of those guys that, especially Purdue fans, like I root for the Big Ten, or at least I used to root for the Big Ten. But after this year, there's a lot of receipts that we've kept over at Boiler Express of people that if they try to claim, "Hey, the Big Ten did it, we won a championship if Purdue wins tomorrow night," it's gonna be like, no, you don't. Like you guys talk crap about
love
how
that.
Edie's a foul person. You guys talk about how Braden's not even a top 10 guard in the league. Like, don't all
It'll
of a
be
sudden
easy too. You just go to their profile and search for Edie, or like search for anything Purdue. Just search for Purdue, and you'll find a tweet that they were dogging you like in the last 3 months. You'll
We're
find
like
one.
the
It'll be
Sam's
so
Club
easy.
people with the receipts. We're highlighting all them suckers.
Highlighting them as they leave. Yep,
Where
got
we've
that.
highlighted, our highlighters have run out. Golly.
Absolutely.
It's so Midwestern.
It's so Midwestern it hurts. Listen, my Twitter bio says you're stereotypical Midwesterner. So I mean, listen,
Love
I
it.
love it.
sticking to the brand here, boys.
All right, let's get to one more by DJ, and then we'll get into the future announcement. If you guys want to stick around for that, you can.
Heck yeah.
How about the storyline for Monday evening? Purdue, another number 1 seed with a prior year 16 seed loss, winning the national championship, or UConn repeats as the champs. Obviously, let's go Boilers, DJ says. I mean, how much are you guys thinking about that, Russ, Dylan? I mean, like, obviously Virginia did it before. It's kind of like destiny this year, I guess. But, I mean, at least making it back to it. I mean, I don't want to compare you guys to Virginia, but what's your thoughts with it?
By the way, DJ is Russ's brother. So shout out to
DJ.
Dan. Shout out
There
to
we go.
Dan.
Yeah,
Love it.
we went like long enough on our pod to talk about the sponsors, and then we're like, "Hey, deuces, go check out the huddle. We're headed over there." So that we drew some of the comments from there over here. But
Love it.
to me, I think the biggest storyline for me is, we've already put the 16 seed in the past, right? We made not just the Final Four, but we made the championship game. Like we got that monkey off the back. We redeemed ourselves from that. But I think it's a story of the biggest discrepancy, if you look, especially down like the Ken Palm line, if you're looking at offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, all that stuff, is our strength of schedule is vastly different. Now, UConn has obviously dominated. They've done what they've been expected to do, but they did not play nearly the strength of schedule that Purdue did this year. So is it better to load your schedule with cupcakes and get to the, get a good seed, get to the Final Four that way? But does that weaken you because you haven't played the top teams that Purdue has, where they've played a little more battled schedule? And is that going to pay off for us? Because Purdue, I think, has either tied or beaten UCLA's record in, I think, the 70s or the 80s they set, which is the longest. You guys stick with me on this one. It's the longest winning streak against non-conference Power 5 or top 25 opponents. They've won like 20, like Purdue's won like something like 20 or 21 straight games against Power 5 and or top 25 opponents outside of the conference. So that streak's on the line going into tomorrow night. So if Purdue wins, I think it's a feather in the cap to those that say, hey, if you're good enough, you're going to make the tournament, so you might as well schedule your opponents hard in the non-conference to get yourself battle tested and not just load it with cupcakes. Or if UConn wins, it's going to be like, look, load your schedule with cupcakes, get yourself a nice seed so you get the easiest path to the Final Four, and then let that take care of itself once you get to the Final Four.
Wow. Dylan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean Russ really killed that one. I don't know, man. I just want to win. Listen, I just want to win so dang bad. And no, Russ really took the cake with that one.
JR, I feel like I don't remember if it. I wish I remember what show it was on. I mentioned that at the beginning of the season. Going into this season, I mentioned the similarities to, Virginia and that will to win the following season for them after losing to a 16 seed. And, listening to the haters all season, I compared that at the beginning of the year. I wish I could remember which show it was on or which episode it was on so I could go pull it, but I definitely don't. But I do remember saying that. So I do think there's some similarities to it. And, playing with it's almost like it was worth it. It's almost like that. You know, you had to go through hell basically and to come back to get to this point. But, you know, I think a lot of fan bases, even within this conference, would happily take one of the most embarrassing losses if you guaranteed them that they would be in the national championship game the next year, because, you know, some of them haven't even been to a Final Four yet. So they would be glad to be to this point, you know. So, yeah, I think there was a lot of similarities between those two teams. And, you know, I'm so happy for them. You know, after that loss last year, it's great to see them bounce back like this. And you hear it in a lot of the post-game interviews and a lot of interviews like after or in between games or just, you know, media days or whatever it may be. You can hear it, like, how bad they want this. And you love to see it. You love to see it.
You do. Thank you.
You do. I think I remember you saying that, Kent. I don't remember if you were on here or if I was listening to your podcast when you said
I don't know
that,
either.
but, yeah, I hear you mostly on here nowadays, though. So
Yeah, I don't do my pod anymore. That's why. I'm going to do one more pod, by the way. I'm keeping my YouTube. I'll make an announcement first, JR. I'm keeping my
Go for
YouTube
it.
channel open for one reason only, and it's for I'm going to be a full-time streamer when NCAA football comes out, for sure. For sure. There's no reason for me to play that game and not put it out to the public. So that's the only reason I'm keeping my YouTube account open, and it'll be just for live streaming me killing people with the Purdue Boilermakers in NCAA
Hell yeah.
football.
Yeah, send me the invite to that online franchise mode. Send me the invite. I'll get in there with you.
All right.
We'll battle for recruits in a virtual
Russ play
world.
video. You play video games? Wow. No, that's honestly kind of a shock. That's not an age joke.
It's not coming out on the Super Nintendo. Is that not?
There it is. There it is.
here we go. We have a guess. He corrected it, but Eric
What?
says my money is on Kent being an Illinois fan. After thinking about this, he mentioned Chicago pizza a couple times. That's my final
Ooh.
guess. Are you going to confirm or deny it, Kent, or are you just going to
Nope.
let that be the guess?
Nope.
I
You're gonna
like
let
you making it a mystery. It's
I've got a guess too, but it's not Illinois and it's not any of the ones you said. But I'll say it off air too.
Okay, so you'll guess.
I feel like I
after-
thought I told
afterward.
you before, Russ. Maybe not.
it's short-term memory.
It's okay.
It's a real son of a gun.
I
Hey,
love Sonny.
Sonny in the house. What's up, pal?
Sonny definitely knows.
Kent is too nice. to me.
Don't tell him, Sonny.
Well, see, now that makes me think it's Illinois. I said Illinois.
Maybe
Illinois.
it is. Maybe it is.
Ooh. Stay tuned to find
That's
out.
hilarious.
If you said
love
it,
how-
I've changed my guess now. I think I know who it is now. Actually,
I love how much me and Sonny talk down about our own fan base at times.
Sonny
Hey, being-
did pick against Illinois at the Elite Eight. That was impressive. I could never.
yeah, being self-aware is a big part about being a podcaster that can talk level-headedly about your team and other teams. So it's good.
Some say my
Dylan's the most
self-awareness.
self-aware person I know.
Yeah, I was about to say. Some say my self-awareness is 0. Nothing.
All right, let's get to the announcement. So, those of you who have been following the Big Ten Huddle for this football season, we started back in, I think it was August, like at the beginning of August. If you caught on middle of football season, middle of basketball season, we appreciate you. Here's what's going down. So the Big Ten Huddle is remaining. There will still be a Big Ten Huddle. It will be on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, live at 9 o'clock still. What is going to change is now we are also introducing the SEC Huddle, the Big 12 Huddle, the ACC Huddle, because we are joining a network called the College Huddle. And so what's going to happen is this channel on YouTube, our Twitter account, all our social media, everything is going to be going from just the Big Ten Huddle to the College Huddle. Our goal is to have an episode about a conference or about college football or about basketball, whatever it is. Having one of those every single day for you, at least here on the YouTube channel. Sometimes it might be an hour or 2 hour long podcast. Sometimes it might just be a 10-minute video. We'll see what we can do, but we are joining a network. The Boiler Express guys are in that. They are our Purdue partner for that. We are very excited to have them joining us. There's a whole bunch of other podcasts. I'm sitting here and trying to name them. We have over 70 podcasts involved in this network. So
So many.
Yeah, I mean, we are stoked about this. Kent is going to remain on, at least in the offseason, Kent. I know you're going to be a little bit more iffy and stuff like that, but Kent is at least going to remain on when he can get on. And then once season starts, you'll be on more consistent, right, Kent?
Oh yeah. I'll
Yeah.
always be here for you, JR. No matter
sure.
what. As
And,
long as I'm not busy streaming when this game comes out, I'll make some
course.
time.
I was about
I might
to say,
have to
yeah,
do both at the same time, but I'll
some
be here.
people may go missing when that game comes out.
Absolutely.
Lose jobs. We're all gonna be.
But I'll be here. Sorry to get you off topic, JR. Sorry.
No, I don't know how to like describe it the best way possible. I guess I'll start with this. We are gonna have Big 12 Huddle episodes on Monday. We're gonna have Big 10 basketball episodes Big 10 football episodes on Tuesday. Big 10 basketball episodes on Wednesday. SEC episodes on Thursday. ACC episodes on Friday. We're gonna have a national college football show that will be led by me on Saturday, and then we're gonna even have a group of 5 college football show led by some guys who run a G5 G5 YouTube channel. I think it's called
Bunch
the
of
G5
sickos
Hive.
over there.
Yeah, man. So I will not be leading all of these channels. I can't stream every single night. I have a 10-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, and my wife would kill me. So I am doing the national show, and I am doing the Big Ten show. But our other guests, or our other hosts, you guys will love them. They do a great job. And so if you're ever curious what's going on in the SEC, or maybe you just want to give them a little bit of hate, which I fully endorse, head on over there.
Yeah.
Chat it up with them, and we appreciate it. So Russ, Dylan, you guys got any thoughts about the College Huddle starting?
So excited. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been in the works for a long time, and we haven't been allowed to talk about it, which is very hard for me to do. So I'm excited, man. You've been working your butt off. The thing you've built here with the Huddle is incredible. Eric and a lot of the other guys we've met through, joining forces in the past. I'm excited, man. It's going to be electric. Everyone should be very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Eric didn't get the invite because he was responsible for sending out all the invites.
Yeah, dude. I know our guy Chris has done the Discord or whatever it's called, and he's like, I can't keep up because this is nuts. So it's going to be bigger than anything in the college sports world of podcasting, and it's going to be awesome, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah, we tripled our goal, I think, on what we're going to launch with. So it's just, the excitement of what it could build to. And, collaboration is my favorite thing about being a college sports fan is not, being in an echo chamber where you talk about just your team is cool, sure. But like being able to say, hey, we played this team this week. Let's go talk to these guys so we know what we're facing. Like we got to find out things about NC State because shout out Red and White podcast. They're going to be part of the ACC part of the College Huddle. And we got to learn things about NC State we would not have known and be able to look for when we play them. So it's just going to be really fun to be able to know basically somebody that supports a team that you're playing, even in non-conference games. So I'm excited about that part for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And like I said, we're going to have all these different schools. So we do have a couple openings in conferences still. So we're going to be searching for those. But I know some of our comments lately have been saying, like, you need more Minnesota fans or you need more, whatever, Rutgers fans or whatever it might be. And I told people, wait, it's coming. Just give us some time because we were pretty Purdue and Illinois heavy for the last month, which makes sense. They were the ones winning the most in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, we're gonna have more fans on here from different podcasts and things like that. I think you guys will really enjoy them. It's gonna be a good time, and we might
Congrats,
have some more
you
debate.
guys.
We'll see.
Let me be the
We'll see what
first to
happens.
say congrats. I'm the first
Kent,
one to
dude, you're
hear
a
it.
part
I
of it
think
too,
that
man.
is
I was
allowed
about to
to.
say,
Yeah.
you're with us. Don't.
Oh no, I am. But I'm not. None of these are my show, and I'm glad. You said his name is Eric, who
Eric.
sent out the invitation. I'm glad he's in here. Happy to come on any show that you guys need me on and talk ball. And I hope it grows like to the biggest possible. But I will say, if it gets too big, there's gonna be a fee. There will be a fee involved, and Eric needs to be the first one to hear that. There will be some, there'll be a bill going out, and I expect it to be paid promptly. Once
I have
once
to
it gets
pay
really
when I
big.
go on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, can't go anywhere because he's our connection guy, right? Braden Smith, Parker Fox, Coleman Hawkins. Like he's the one that knows everybody. So he can't go
Barnhizer.
anywhere. Yeah, Brooks Barnhizer. Yeah. Way to go, Dylan. Yeah, now you know who it is. Just keep dropping that name. Yeah.
Shout out to
This Brooks
Barnhizer.
guy.
Hey, that's not the last either. We're gonna have some more. Let's just break all the news. We're gonna have some more guys on our show too, right, Jr.? Or your show, I should say. It's not ours. On the show that I appear on with you,
Your co-host. You call
on the
our show.
Sunday night shows, we will have more players on as well. That's
Yep.
definitely happening.
Yep. So what we will probably try to do is we'll probably try to. There might be sometimes, I mean, it's the off season. There might be sometimes where an episode is literally just an interview. We'll see what happens if there's not like a bunch of news or something like that. But we'll try to, even if we do an interview, maybe talk about a news topic or something like that as well, because we do want to make sure we give you guys a full episode. But yeah, like I said, man, this is really, really exciting. We're really happy about it. It's going to be huge for our podcast, and like I said, I think it's going to be huge for our listeners too. So that way, you guys can actually, not just hear about Big Ten stuff, but SEC, ACC, all that stuff too. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. I don't care. Tell anybody. Let them know. Big Ten
Gordy
Huddle
knows.
is expanding.
He's
What'd
wide
you say?
awake. So
Oh,
Gordy
yeah.
knows.
There we
He's
go.
10 years old. He's asleep. Sorry, buddy.
Good looking dog.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I watch
Jackson
dogs.
just got
That's
in
actually
here.
how I actually make money. I watch dogs.
That's a what?
No joke.
I want to do
That's my
that.
actual job.
I want to do that. How do you
Yeah.
do what?
Did you know that, JR?
No, I did not know that. I knew
Yeah.
you watched your kids, but
Yeah, I watch my kids too. Like
I don't
that's
think you make money
the
for
main
that, though.
job, but like they also go to school. So in my free time, I'm like on Rover and like do private stuff. Like I have like crates that I watch dogs. I don't have any dogs tonight, but like I love that breed though. Like it's fun.
You
Doodles,
got your
doodles
dogs
are
right here,
rad.
kid.
I used to just for the full story, since we're doing the whole story real quick. I used to be a teacher. I make more money watching dogs than I did teaching. No joke.
I'm going to
Kent-
school to be a teacher. Shit.
Kent's dry sense of humor is so elite. I don't know if I can believe anything he said.
I'm dead serious. I'll send you pictures,
is-
bro. I'm dead serious.
Send the receipts. Oh, there goes Gordy. He's had it.
I have one dog. I have this month I have a job where like one of my main clients, I'm not even joking, is going to Oklahoma. I'm watching 3 of her dogs for 3 weeks.
Are the names Boomer and Sooner?
Nope, it's Mac, Sophie, and Lexi.
Hell
And
yeah.
my dog's name is Batman.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I have horses. They're giant dogs. So
Yeah.
that can
I'll
hurt.
watch your
Wanna-
horses if you need me to as well. You just gotta tell me how to feed
They're a
them and
real
stuff.
pain in the butt. They're
Just again, the fee is high though. I have high fees, guys.
they literally eat my money. I
Shit.
don't know. Like I just feed them $1 bills at this point. Like what do we?
JR is experiencing the Boiler Express effect. We're like in that point of the show where we're just talking about random things, filling time. Like,
That's why our slogan is off the rails. We're never on the rails. I mean, poor Damon has to host our show, and that's like the hardest job anyone could sign up for. God love him.
Well, Jackson's one of our best friends of the podcast here, so I want to make sure I highlight him, telling you guys congratulations on going to the national championship.
Thank you.
So,
It's because of
Jackson,
us that
good
they
friend.
made it.
And he also said your dog is awesome. there,
Thank you.
Dylan, so.
Shout out to Gordy, the golden. Named after Gordy Howe.
Love it. Love it.
We need
All
more
right.
hockey content now that I brought up Gordy Howe. We need some hockey schools.
We'll get an ice rink background, and then we'll have to talk about it if that's
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right. That's we're almost at an hour and a half now, so
Sorry,
we're gonna
everybody.
get off here. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, guys?
Boiler up.
Boiler up. Thanks for the impromptu ad. Sorry for throwing this
We
off the rails
we
here.
invited ourselves. We really did. We were the wedding crashers here. We we saw you guys having fun. We're like, hey, let us in.
Having fun.
Like that guy with the meme when he's at the fence.
I almost sent you that
in.
when I was DMing you to send me the link. I almost sent you that GIF.
Perfect. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking in on the Big Ten Huddle. Tomorrow, we're going to be switching everything over to the College Huddle, so be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for first Big Ten episode of the College Huddle Tuesday, and then Wednesday another one, and then Thursday will be our first SEC episode, and then we'll go from there. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great night.